that all of a sudden you had 86% of the people from the farm moving to be 60% of the people living in cities, and they thought, we'll never reproduce the social capital that makes America possible. American republicanism, small r, republicanism, the rule of the people through lots of plural institutions with lots of dynamic and interesting grass tops. This will never work again. And it turns out they were wrong. Like all the panic of the 1890s, 1900s, 1910s, and teens, they said, turns out when you get to cities, you ended up having lots of dense capital in ethnic neighborhoods. And so a lot of agrarianism, a lot of Tocquevillian rural America was recreated in cities because there was still a Lockean theory of the commons. There was still a sense of neighborliness. Work was still actually permanent. You had 15 to 25-year-old males migrating across the landscape, but once they got to cities, they tended to get a job that they would keep until death or retirement. But what everybody was afraid of was that you'd actually have no neighborliness, that you'd be lonely, and you'd have this disruption forever. Guess what? What they were panicked about then is actually the economy we're entering now. What's actually going to happen now is shorter and shorter duration jobs forevermore. And so all that panic about whether or not America can persist in an age where you don't know your neighbors, well, that's really what exurbia is. And so right now, lots of people in America are fundamentally lonely. And politics is trying to figure out how to solve this echo of social capital worry people have. And their social capital worry is an echo largely of shorter and shorter duration jobs. And the only way this works is if we create a dynamic economy where everybody realizes they're going to need to be lifelong learners and they're going to need to be able to get reconnected. Right now, the Rotary Club is dying in Appalachia, and it's not being formed in exurbia. And we're going to need to figure out what the jobs of the future look like to reproduce the social capital and the venture philanthropy and the relational institutions of a much more mobile workforce. And what you don't want is politics of repristinization, of let's have a 1950s political party and a 1960s political party, and let's battle forever about fake entitlement budgets. That's mostly what Republicans and Democrats are doing in the city. And so we need to get past primarily a right-left view of the world and a much more future-centric view of the world that's still cognizant of the fact that we are relational beings that need friends and need density and need our work to matter. And we need lots of that layering of relationship, yet in a world where there's going to be lots more portability and mobility.